Here in Lagos, Igbos in the All Progressives Congress say they are united and indivisible entity. The group at a function led by its leader, Joe Igbokwe, who maintained that the only way forward for Nigeria is for citizens to work together for a better nation, says anything short of that will only push other ethnic groups far away from the center. He called for support for the incoming administration to be led by the president-elect Bola Tinubu. Mr. Igbokwe also urged Igbos to unite and work together so the region can produce a president in the nearest future.
Three major ethnic groups cannot make it alone. So if you are sitting in one corner and you are abusing everybody, you're not building bridges, you're not making friends, that presidency will be too far away from you. Even as I speak to you now, 2031 is settled. It's settled. And if we don't work so hard to come away from our bad politics, that's why we call it, we'll lose 2038, 2039. 2039 is not. Because if Achiwaju finishes into 2031, then I know I'm not doubting that we'll still continue to play this kind of politics we're playing. Then it will go back to the north. Because you can see the volume of votes that came from the north. These things are not, people are not playing. Politics is a serious business.
Like in Lagos State here, Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is he for she, in the sense that he is giving the opportunity for women to come up in politics. So I would like other governors to borrow a leaf from him so that the position of women in politics will be a laudable thing.
By you see me here, if you have been following that last election, you will see us, we are always together. Because the fact remains that at the end of the day, we felt, not just me alone, with himself, it's better we work as one, and we are one. And that was why we worked together to ensure that we support the party, and also delivered our national leader, who is now president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, answering your question, we are indivisibly one.
I will use as a poem to describe him, the engineer Joe Igbokwe I know. It's a gift to Igbo nation, especially here in Lagos. He remains our apex leader, the man that I single-handedly titled Double Man in Single, a Dodge fighter, somebody that his Igbo-ness.
For staying with us. The organized labor in Imo State has endorsed Governor Hope Uzodinma as its sole candidate for the November governorship election. In Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki told the organized labor that Nigeria would face serious economic crisis in the coming days if proactive measures are not taken by the government. Prince Uba compiled these reports on the May Day celebration in the Southeast and South-South.
Today, Nigerian workers are celebrating 137th anniversary of May Day with the theme, Workers' Rights and Socio-Economic Justice. In Owerri, the Imo State capital, the labor force used the occasion to endorse Governor Hope Uzodinma for second term in office as worker-friendly governor. For Governor Uzodinma, while addressing workers at Ndubisi Kanu Square in Owerri, says workers' welfare remains the utmost priority of his administration.
We have a debt portfolio of over 169 billion naira unpaid gratuity in Imo State since 2007. So many of these pensioners, they have died. So the process of payment of gratuities, as bogus as it is sounded, have started. We will pay those gratuities to our pensioners. Those that have died, we will pay to their next of kin.
The entire workers of Imo State most sincerely appreciate your worker-friendly disposition towards the welfare of Imo workers. And we have decided to use this day to celebrate you.
At Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City, Governor Godwin Obaseki has predicted that Nigeria would face serious economic crisis in the days ahead if practical steps are not taken to stem the tide. The governor called for the immediate end of the fuel subsidy regime as one of the urgent steps to cushion the impending economic crisis. The state NLC chairman appreciated the governor for all the interventions and reforms which have impacted positively on workers in the state.
Even though we continue to struggle in Edo, we're working very hard to make life better for all of you. We are not oblivious of the fact that Nigeria is in trouble. The economy of our country is in a terrible state. It will be a miracle for the federal government and state governments to pay salaries beyond June this year without resorting to massively printing money or removing fuel subsidy. Workers must now rise and ensure that they champion any discussions on subsidy removal.
To government of for 40,000 minimum wage to our workers on May 1st. 2, your recent approval of year 2022 promotion for workers.
The organized labor believed proper remuneration by the government at all levels will further boost productivity and enhance optimal performance of Nigerian workers. Prince Oba, TVC News, Owerri.
The Adamawa State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress on Monday commended Governor Ahmadu Fintiri for his many labour-friendly policies. Speaking at this year's Workers' Day, the state chairman of the union, Emmanuel Fashe, cited payment of pensioners' allowances and the partial payment of minimum wages as part of labour-friendly policies implemented by Fintiri's administration.
Part of gratuities of pensioners at that tier of government. Partial implementation of the national minimum wage to local government staff that includes primary school teachers and primary healthcare workers, including our colleagues in the National Council. The release of promotion of primary school teachers, though without attendant financial benefit, but like we used to say, it is a step forward because what it translates into now is when you retire, your retirement benefits are going to be calculated based on the promotion you have in hand. Hitherto, our colleagues that have retired without these papers have been, their benefits were calculated on the old form, which as is a setback.
The leadership of Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress have appealed to the Yobe State government to consider the payment of gratuity to retired workers across the state. The appeal was read to journalists by the Yobe State NLC chairman Adamu Tabutu in Damaturu, where all workers converged to commemorate the 2023 Workers' Day. He also urged Governor Mai Malabuni to graciously extend the retirement age from 35 years to 40 years, as adopted by all states. Other participants also charged the state government to pay critical attention to some retirees in some sectors.
Labour is very much aware of the government efforts in creating conducive environment for civil servants, ranging from office renovation and furniture supply. Nevertheless, notwithstanding, we want you to consider the payment of 100 million monthly for gratuity.
Yeah, the shares areas are areas of pension and gratuity. Really, the Yobe State workers who have retired have not yet been paid their gratuity and pensions. These are very grave areas, and we are appealing strongly to the Yobe State government as a matter of policy to install more than 100 million by every month so that workers' gratuity and pension could be paid. You know, people have worked for 35 years. After retiring, no money, nothing.
Active and vibrant health workers are retiring. Like what is Sligon today, instead of 35 years in service, we want the state government to extend the number of years to be 40 years, like our other colleagues in Borno State, Adamawa State, Kaduna State, and recently last week, Kano State.
The Lagos State government has warned residents against the building structures on illegal areas. This comes as the Lagos State Building Control Agency pulled down no fewer than 13 buildings at Ike Peter Street, Ajawi State, erected close to the Murtala International Airport. Theophilus Ilama has details.
The recent building collapse in Banana Island presents another stark reality that has bedeviled the real estate sector. A 7-story building weeks ago collapsed on the Banana Island axis, killing one. To stop these collapses, the state government swung into action and marked several houses for demolition. Ike Peter Street, Ajawi State, felt the pangs of the government. 13 structures constructed on pipelines along Airport Road were pulled down. This puts an end to 8 years of efforts to rid the pipeline of illegal structures. The TVC News crew visited the scene days after the demolition, and already other buildings here have been marked for demolition.
When you get a land, what is the first thing that you need to do? You don't just see a property and it's ever you start building. You are going to buy the land from somebody, and you are supposed to make an inquiry. That is why we have lawyers.
Aware of the lingering issue, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria FAN commended the government for the steps taken.
It is a matter of trying to follow due process. Because since 2016 that we placed advert in national dailies, advertised in our local radio and television houses here. So since then, some of them will say, is it since 2016? They have forgotten about it. If they had meant it in 2016 that they published, if I had known, I wouldn't have sold my business. Because at that point in time, what they did, some of them, they just quietly sold, passed the thing to other persons.
The recent building collapse in Lagos State is an eye-opener to the poor state of building structures in the state. Now, the state government is unhappy with the development as it seeks to closely monitor the real estate sector and put measures in place to end this menace. Theophilus Ilama, TVC News, Lagos.